Attendees.
Yes.
All right, we're recording.
All right. So I guess we'll call the Bikeways meeting, the January Bikeways meeting to order. And we have Paul, Charlie, Charlene, Alan, myself,
Yep.
all in room. Great to see everybody.
Great to see you, Fran.
You
too.
Happy New Year.
Likewise. Happy New Year. And TGIF.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Is it Friday?
Yeah, we're not used to doing these on Fridays. No.
So I guess we'll start the meeting off with Charlene. Charlene has some.
Oh yeah, my big announcement. This will be my last meeting. I apologize for that, but yeah, I called Fran yesterday and we talked about it. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I can share why I'm leaving.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, and I'm gonna write a letter. I have been feeling somewhat frustrated I really feel a lack of support that this committee has been shown. Exempting the DPW, obviously.
Yeah.
But it just feels like our enthusiasm gets somewhat squashed. And I just feel like I don't know if there'll be a change, and I don't know it's due to leadership. I just don't know why, but that's the reason. And I feel like I want to, do something where I feel my efforts are appreciated, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know if I was sure of that, but that's just how I feel. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Because I would be wondering if it was me,
Yeah, yeah.
But,
well, no, I want to tell you why. It's not
further,
of you, trust me.
Further, we will dearly miss you, because I think what makes any committee great is diversity, mm-hmm. and people coming in from all different angles and hearing different things. Yeah. I'd say we're kind of diverse, really.
Yeah,
and
sure.
So yeah. It's no small thing, but I having been in the military, people came on all the time. So yeah. I'm very sad you're leaving, but I'm very happy that I want you to be happy and do what it is that nurtures you. So so thanks for sharing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
you will be missed.
Warm thoughts.
You have a lot of enthusiasm.
And I thought about just staying until my term is up in September. Well, it's the 3-year term. But I woke up yesterday morning and I said, no, this is the time. I just felt like, no, I didn't want to wait. So sorry for that. I know we're down members.
No, sorry.
I hope that we can find new members, But there's sort of I just feel an atmosphere of volunteers. Just anyway, I won't go on because. Yeah.
But so to be clear, you feel that the committee is not respected by the town, or are you feeling a lack of respect from within the committee?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, nothing to do
That's
with
what
that.
I sensed, but I wanted to make sure, because I think the town should be on notice that we're losing another committee member because of lack of support from
I plan to write a letter, a very a nicely worded letter, and
well, a lot of the people that are watching this video probably won't see that letter, let alone read it. Right, but I think it's important for them to know.
No,
that,
and I do want to make that known. That
you need to write it to Julie. Or
well, Fran and I talked, and I don't, I thought, do I write this letter to the Board of Selectmen? Because they were the ones who I was interviewed by, and Julie is obviously one of those people. So yeah, that was my plan. I have not crafted the letter yet. I'm going to be careful, but I do want them to know that, and this happens in other places. I've been a volunteer as well. I think the town has to step up to treat volunteers in a different way. Truly, I do. I'm just a fact.
I can't disagree with you.
You've got this beautiful a lot of people retired with time and expertise and experience and all this stuff. Boy, you sure want to use that,
Well, you've made an impact on the committee. You've done a tremendous amount of work in the short time that I've been here, and we're going to feel this loss in a painful way. So thank you for sharing why you're leaving, and thank you for all the work that you've done with us to date.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
We're sorry to see you go, and hopefully
Yeah.
we can get some other people from the town joining the committee and trying to fill your large shoes.
Of course, if you ever see any more items or issues
Yeah.
on the trail, you can always
Good
email
Well, I
me.
know who to call. I
Yeah.
know who to email. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well,
I got you on
I
speed
know,
dial.
our committee have, and Alan, you want to change the charter. I mean, this idea, a lot of really good things could come, but we will need support. I mean, there's no question. We can't do it by
We,
ourselves.
at times, I agree, we just don't get support. I mean, I'm sure it'll come up here in the vulnerable area, but, the little slip of paper to put in to the taxes and everything, I mean, you had to do it by law. They had to check everything. They had two Board of Selectmen meetings, see if it would increase the postage.
Yeah, the municipal process, there was a lot of steps.
And it's way
an
too much
adjustment.
process to put
Yeah.
a piece of paper in where someone can just say, let's do it. I was frustrated. I really was. And from that perspective, it's, we're just trying to help guys,
Well, let's forge ahead.
Yeah.
We got to keep grinding. The public sector operates differently than the private sector. and-
Just forget it. It's just another step. But
trust
yeah,
that.
we will miss you.
So the question is, I mean, we need more members. We've lost 2 and now 3. Where do we find new people to serve on the committee? I think that's number one.
That
on
was one of the
agenda.
items
Yeah.
on the action
Number one.
items, I believe, through you.
Yeah, we have to do an outreach. We will. After
So,
February.
because you didn't do it yet.
No,
Okay.
no. Part of not doing that is speaking with Julie about modifying the charter to expand the scope of the committee, which would then probably bring in, I believe, more parents. So, being a father of 3 little girls, I have a pretty solid network. And frankly, I relate really well with other parents, and I think that's an opportunity to get more people on this committee. Is adjusting the scope of the committee to include some youth recreation and just pedestrian component to the bikeways. So I'll be working on that in the second half of February.
Okay. Oh,
All right, next topic, Fran.
I've got the.
Okay.
The vulnerable users law, is there anything new on that?
Yeah, I had
Is
a
there
couple
anything
things.
new?
I had a couple of things, and I know Paul probably wants to talk about the digital signs. I think I may have sent stuff out, so it's nothing newsworthy or anything, but I did contact this lieutenant. I say lieutenant only because my father was in the military in Canada, and I think it's lieutenant here, right?
Yeah,
Is it?
yes.
Yeah, sorry. So if I say lieutenant, it's not, it's just because.
Right, tenant, left
Yeah,
tenant.
just it's different ways of talking. Anyway, Gosh Gorian is his name, and I actually spoke with him. I was having trouble finding an email address for him, so I said, "Well, I'm just going to phone the police department just see if he's there." And sure enough, and he took the call, so that was nice. And so he said, the more notice they get, the better. So if we, I was telling him that the signs were going up. At some point, we didn't know the exact date, and I know some of them aren't up yet because I was looking for them on certain streets and they're not there. But the point is, I said, probably we wouldn't want to do anything until the bike season sort of starts again, or at least.
right.
But he said, as soon as you know when you want them up, we have 2, and we can. And if you want to give input as to where they might be put, that's also helpful. Okay. So he's just waiting, and I then wrote him a letter, because we didn't have our meeting, because I said, hey, we're going to have this meeting in December. We didn't have it. Oops. So I said, all right, I'm going to go back to him and say, oh yeah, not to worry, we just didn't have the meeting. We'll get back to you as to dates. So he said, don't wait till the last minute, because those signs are used by other, they get other requests. So that was good. So the digital sign part, that's definitely something that he will take care of.
Not as a task to you, but just to get it in the notes, the Cape Cod Rail Trail has, I think, 3 or 4 of those digital signs now. Oh. And so they're looking for things to put on them. and that would be one source of another. We should advertise to the driving public, but advertise to the bikers and walkers as well.
Who owns
So
the
they,
signs? Like the,
DCR.
oh, DCR,
Yeah.
okay.
But those are signs that are actually on the bike path, right?
They're movable.
Yeah, but I
And
think
they're-
they're generally keeping them within.
They want to move them now.
Oh, they'll put them on the roadway.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll take that back. Not on the rail trail.
Yeah.
They are on the rail
Okay,
trail,
right.
but there again, I mean, my thought might be that the hikers and, walkers and riders should know the rules.
Oh,
too.
for sure.
So from
Agreed,
that
yeah.
standpoint.
Yeah, just trying to make sure that Charlene was aware that they're.
Yeah.
Those are.
Yeah, but that just might
Yeah,
be
the-
another,
Trail only.
The audience there is trail users as opposed to
yes,
Yeah.
drivers. Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Is there, how did you find out about that?
Well,
Or-
there's a replacement for Eric.
Oh,
And
is
there's
there?
actually two people.
Oh.
So there's a person who's.
She's awesome, by the way.
Yes.
I met her a few
Oh,
weeks ago. Yeah.
So is the male.
I haven't met him yet, but I'm
Yeah.
sure he is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Eric did two jobs. That's why he was so busy. I never really understood that. So he was replaced by two people. One is a young lady, and she is really fabulous. The man, I'll say young gentleman to keep it the same, is equally as full of ideas. I have some things I'll share, but I mean,
Yeah. Do you know their names or do you want to?
I don't remember their names. Do you, Fran?
The woman is Susie Johnson.
There you
Okay.
go. The woman. And are their names on the website? I don't think they are.
And question mark, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know when we would decide where and when, or when we want the signs
Yeah.
placed and where we want them placed. Is that a meeting we can do in February to figure that out?
Yeah, I'd propose that we push hard to have that signage as often as possible in May, especially during, May is Bike Safety Month.
Yeah,
And
good.
I'm not sure if it's isolated to Boston or if it's a statewide thing, but there's a Bike Safety Week and, and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
believe
So
that's in.
we should check the Mass Bike website. That's a good source for that and try to target around that.
But we
Okay.
should let them know ahead of time, like I say, a good agenda item for next month
Yeah.
would be, target time and place so that we can kind of be on their schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll just do it for a week or whatever, it depends, I guess.
Depends on the request they get. So I put these signs out a lot in Cambridge and in Waltham for events that I organize up there. So I'm familiar with the character count, the lines. So I could take the lead on that. I think ultimately we would want to reach out to them in March,
Okay.
and say like a couple days on this week and try to nail down three different weeks, maybe late April, early May, and then again in late May.
Alan, I'll take letting the DCR know.
All
That
right.
gentleman.
Thank you.
Since I worked
Okay.
at me,
Yep.
so.
And they'll tell
I'll
you,
work
like, you've
through
got
you.
it.
Yeah.
You usually have 8 or 9 characters per line. You can do 3 lines, and then you
Okay.
could do 3 screens.
Okay.
So you don't have to do all, but
All right.
they're kind of tricky to work with because you got to abbreviate, and
You only got so much room to work with.
yeah,
That's it.
So
Yeah,
get rid of
so,
vowels and just have
I
consonants.
believe did I send you guys a copy of the letter to that I sent to the Lieutenant Gosh Gorian? Did you guys see that, or I thought I sent it out
Don't.
to everybody?
If you have, I
missed
can't
it, yeah.
remember.
Yeah, it was dated December 18th. Just 2 items to follow up on, and anyway, I'll make sure that I'll put his email address in here in the
I
minutes.
see you writing a lot. Can I just, are you still going to write the minutes of this
Oh, yeah,
meeting?
absolutely.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, I'm
thank
here.
you. And we'll have
Yeah.
to choose another.
So I will
Clerk
put
or
in
secretary.
Lieutenant Gosh Gorian, his information here.
Thank
You
you.
can spell that. Anyway, he was supportive. In addition to that, which actually relates to the same topic on the agenda, is I went back to him. I got a call right after I talked to him, maybe the next day, from Colleen Medeiros from the commission, and Cape Cod Commission, and she said, I'm reaching out to groups like yours to ask for help because the J1 coordinator is needing bike lights for their, because of the new law. And they don't have really any money much to speak of, and they have like 2,000 people to supply bike lights to. And I said, she said, are you, would your committee be willing to reach out to the police department in your town? Because apparently, Colleen said, she was aware that they may have access to a grant to do such a thing. I said, oh, yeah. In fact, I just got off the phone with the lieutenant, God, I can't. Anyway, so yeah, and so I got back to him and then said, all right, I had this conversation, and we definitely we don't have a huge segment of the population that uses the bike trail at night, or rides at night, but I know for a fact that we have J1 users that are doing that, and it's unsafe, and they're, so guess what? Nothing, crickets. That was 2 weeks ago, maybe even three. No, it was before Christmas I wrote the letter. Or he asked me to use email to contact him in the future. So I this is before Christmas. I thought I'll get this out before Christmas so that just for our meeting. And I have heard nothing.
Have you followed up with them?
No.
No. Okay.
I have not.
Yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with state and city agencies for organizing events for 15 years, and it's effectively become my full-time job. And an overwhelming majority of them are overworked, underpaid, and you have to follow up with them repeatedly, and you have to pull what you need out of them. And so, I'd like to believe that things are different down here on the Cape, and especially with the Harwich Police Department, but ultimately...
And again...
want me to follow up on that? Or
somebody should
you're
follow
following up on a lot of things at this point.
Yeah, I'm
if you could send me his information.
Yes. I'm going to put it right in the minutes.
Sent?
Yeah, and I'll just send it to you.
And then I'll take the action to follow up with him.
And it sounds like we've got something in our inbox from December 18th to reference. So
this guy, Lieutenant Agashgorian, he sits on the Traffic Safety Committee.
Oh, he does.
So again, we were hoping, I guess it was we were hoping several months ago that, wow, okay, we're going to be helpful here. We'll help the police, promote this new law and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, anyway, so we've gotten some cooperation regarding the signs, which is wonderful. So hopefully they'll help us with that. But anyway, Colleen asked, and I said, well, we'll try. I mean, of course. And then I told her that we had talked about in our last meeting of applying for getting lights from the Light Brigade program that Mass Bike has. And I went on their site and I printed off the 4 pages. It's one of those kinds of applications. As an event organizer, you can get up to 50 lights. Now, they're not guaranteeing you'll get that, but they ask you how many do you want, and there's different ranges. There's a 4-page application as an event organizer, and you can't, I had to go in and put information in. It won't let you go to the next page until you put the information in. So I kind of just, put in stuff. And then I printed that off. So it's not a hard application. And basically all they ask is that you have some kind of, it doesn't have to be huge, it doesn't have to be big, some event where you hand these things out, and that any coverage of that event or just a small little report on what happened in the event, how many people were there, so that they have that information as a follow-up.
Follow up with them to see how effective was it.
Now, as you know, and if you've been on the Mass Bike website, they are actively, trying to get people to donate money to Mass Bike to support this program. Mm-hmm. So they do a front and back light, and so depending on how many people have donated to Mass Bike will depend on how much money they have in the Light Brigade program. So that's why I say it's very sketchy. We don't know if we would get 50 lights if we requested them or not, but that is one place to get them. And it's never too soon to apply for the program. And I have, as I say, I printed it out here of what's involved. And it's not hard. It's a very simple form. So that's the official form that they use.
I'll take the action.
And so again, how we wanted to do that. And I think you were mentioning, Alan, something about an event not...
It's in June, though.
In where?
June.
In June. It's in June, and it's in Hyannis, so it doesn't really fall
Maybe
within.
It wasn't fall. Yeah.
As bicycle advocates, we can participate, and I would love everyone's support. But as far as it being like an official Harwich Bikeways Committee, I think there's a conflict there because it's an event in Hyannis.
We'd have
so.
to find
So
something.
it'd be more like a Mass Bike.
Mass Bike Week.
And it'll be Mass Bike will have a role in it, but
Yeah.
it's
So
not in Hyannis.
it's a matter for us, I mean, it's a matter, I guess, for this committee to decide, okay, are we gonna have even it could be very, very low-key event to hand out lights. And I got the name of the person, I think I put it in this letter, actually.
Oh, like I was going to ask about like a
Yeah,
J1
sorry,
contact
I'm-
or J1 coordinator.
Yes, she gave it to me, once we
Oh.
have contacted. Hang on, let me just look for that for a second here.
Okay.
This is also goes with that too, that's just a, oh, I had that right in front of me here.
I'm sure we have this. I just,
It's on my computer, but that
Okay.
doesn't help us right now. But I do have the name of the person, that Colleen gave me the name. So sorry, I'm trying to take minutes and do that too. So let me get the name of that person.
all right. Email it out to us.
Sure. I can put it in the minutes too.
Either way.
Yeah.
All right, so that tackles topic 4. We skipped ahead. Are you going to cover vulnerable users law, or is Charlene still have stuff to cover there? That
We
date's
covered a lot of it, and as far as like I
flyer.
mentioned, that
there.
that paper going in is dead. You know, at this point, they had
It's too late, right?
it's number one too late. Number two, it was on the agenda for 2 weeks of the select board. I went to both of them. There was, I think, too many rules, regulations. They have to figure out whether they're gonna not go over their budget for postage. There was, and then they have to wait. Oh, well, we'll have to figure it out. So now somebody's going to put that paper in and see if it goes over. I think it was just a delay of
Yeah.
tactics, and then it never got back on.
So we could just
I gave up on
we
it.
could do like some image and blast it out on the various Facebook groups in Harwich, and probably reach twice as many people as we would have reached
Correct.
going through that route anyway. So we'll do the digital marketing
Yeah.
approach. And,
That you're good at.
that's my domain. I'll take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll take that action.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, let me get this down.
Whoops.
And obviously there's not a big sense of urgency on this because there aren't a whole lot of people cycling right now.
No, I
Right.
know.
So I'm kind of, I'm here at this meeting, but my ability to contribute on the committee is on pause until the middle of February. Just because of, our largest event of the year for my job.
Sure.
Is on Super Bowl Sunday. I'll get to the other side of that, kids' vacation week, and then we'll start working on stuff for the rail trail.
Can I just, I clipped this out of the local paper.
Yep.
This is a letter to the editor. This was last week, on January the 11th. So, dear editor, I'm seeing street signs on the roads of Chatham that instruct drivers to give pedestrians 4 feet of clearance. What do drivers do when pedestrians continue to walk 2 or more abreast on the road? The town of Chatham may want to rethink these signs, as pedestrians seem to think they own the road. And I read that one, man.
Wow.
So then the editor wrote a note. The signs in question reflect a state law that went into effect last year that requires vehicles to provide 4 feet of clearance to pedestrians, etc. Vehicles must slow or stop until it's safe to pass. The law applies whether or not the signs are in place. So this person, okay, here's an anti.
Right.
Yeah.
And then to their credit, they put a little blurb in the editorial, and this was in December. Kudos to the town of Chatham for approving signs, notifying motorists of the new law, blah blah blah. And so it goes on, and so they're just making people aware, which I was happy to see. Now that's
with a
Chatham,
little,
but this
they
paper,
had a little, and the bike is on there too.
yeah,
So is that the Chronicle, or is that?
this is a
Yeah.
little Thursday paper that comes
Okay.
out. So at
We
least
do get it here.
yeah,
here,
I mean, and I know that refers
No.
to Chatham, but we're going to start seeing our signs. Speaking of signs, and that's what I wanted to ask, because I was on.
I was
Yeah.
at, I believe, a selectman meeting Yeah, it was. Might have been the first week with this getting in the little leaflet in. And Link was there, and he said they were all installed. He stood up and told them that, the signs were installed in 2 days by his people. And he commended 2 persons that did the installation. Where they installed them, I don't know.
See,
I
this
have
was-
seen a few.
This is the
Yeah, I've
list
seen a few.
that we got. Remember when there
Right.
was discussion around where they were gonna go? So I live near Church Street. So I said, okay, I walk on that all the time, and I'm saying, I never seen a sign.
Where
So
is
I
it?
went from one end to the other, because maybe I missed it, maybe.
Hmm.
So I went one end, and I couldn't find, there's 2 small signs supposedly, but there's no sign.
Because I know
trust me,
it's
I haven't seen one
the
sign yet.
size. I know I have.
Have you?
I have,
Good.
I've
Yeah,
seen way more than one.
oh, good.
But,
there's,
they're small, and I know they're
Yeah.
state allocated, so they
Yeah.
all have to be the same.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, I
They're
understand.
non kind of descriptive,
Right.
I don't know the size,
Yeah.
but they're not large signs.
Yeah.
Well, he may have changed his mind on where they were going, because
he
literally,
could've.
this was last
He must
week, I
have.
walked up and down Church Street and not one, so I thought, oh, maybe he's waiting until the
I know
weather
there's
gets
one,
better or something.
I want to say it's Old Wharf Road, Red River Beach. You
Yeah.
take the left off of Julian, or not Julian, take the left. I know there's one there on one side. But
Long
I've
Pond
seen
Drive, I
a
know,
couple.
in 137.
Well, it shouldn't be too time consuming to just send this list to Link and confirm if all of these signs were installed or if any of them were put in a different location, right?
Yeah, again, I mean, I'm just saying, I've been looking for them on
Yeah,
purpose.
he noted
just to see
that,
them.
he verbally said at the meeting
Yeah.
that, they were all installed, but who knows where now.
I had to look for them a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
we're so used to driving,
Right.
we miss things.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's-
when I started seeing it, and I go, oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I
No,
think
that's what
I've
I
seen
thought
6
too.
or 7.
And that's
Is
why
there
I
more
walked
than
it.
one Church Street in Harwich? Like, if you went the length
Yeah.
of Church Street and didn't see them, that's. What
I
is that
don't know if
noise?
there's another Church Street.
I don't know.
I think Fran's watching ESPN in the
We're
background.
not gonna meet one.
I don't, just because.
It's like Depot Street and Depot Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Is there-
well,
anyway,
look,
I
you
don't
know,
want to
They're
belabor that,
up.
but I just
think
thought, oh,
at this
yeah.
point, you're not going to get more signs.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's
he's not
okay.
going to put
I
up
got it.
more.
I think he put up all the
I'm learning my lessons.
I think he did.
Good.
Yeah, so,
All right.
oh, sorry, the bike light thing, that's already been covered, so.
Okay. Bikeways charge. There's no update on the bikeways charge. I haven't sat down. I haven't reached out actually to Julie yet. I will be reaching out to her in late February and propose. I've got I shared a few small edits with you guys, but really I need to check the temperature on how they feel about that, and then we'll go from there. So
Yeah.
I suspect that the Recreation Committee would probably welcome some new blood,
Sure.
Yep.
right? Because they're certainly having their feet held to the fire,
Yeah.
at least the rec department, right? Eric Bibby. So,
Yeah, I agree.
so we'll see. So that covers everything. Now we're moving on to trail update number 5. I'm not sure what that topic is.
I have that, and I have a couple things. First of all, I want to let you know that I got to go to a meeting with Link with probably, I'll say somewhere between 30 and 50 employees at a state level about the repaving of Old Colony Rail Trail. We had a lot of questions about
Yeah.
that, and it was so intense. There was everybody from every walk of life you could think of. There's nobody that we could think of that wasn't actually there. I was shocked and impressed.
Is this a DCR staff that were all there, or these?
DCR was there, but
Transportation.
Oh, the
Transportation.
Transportation Committee? Is
masked
that-
by
Oh,
design people. I mean,
okay.
too many people for me to have any idea. And it was where they stand, and they checked in each person. It was quite a long meeting and quite a lot of people speaking. And I have to tell you that everything that we could think about for repaving that and beyond is being addressed. I mean, to the extent of they're looking at how the rail trail interacts with roads, so it's not coming on angle, like at the park.
Yeah.
They're well aware that they have
Yeah.
people whose profession is to study and know that, so that I don't think we could be in better hands, and I don't think the project could be addressed in a better way.
Was a timeline discussed? Are there milestones? Like
Timeline is always up in the air. They talked about that. That's kind of if you work for the state, I guess you're used to that. So that there's no specific timeline, but they are working on it. It's a serious project. It has a lot of input from a lot of different people, and there's nothing more positive to say. And as we always say, we're so fortunate to have Link. He was a major speaker.
Oh, yeah?
And
Okay.
people look to him for advice, and he interacted with all those people. So we really are lucky. He really, he does a lot of things that we probably aren't aware of. And so I have nothing but praise, and I was impressed. I also got to talk to him about the bumps. And I told him, I followed up with the people in Falmouth. I said that they had ground down the bumps on bikeways, and I was kind of impressed that after a year they're not totally done. They're going to have to come back at some point, but the point in fact is it was a smooth ride across there. And so I got to talk to their I've talked to a person from the Bikeways Committee who was in touch with the DPW people, and they have a machine that's pretty complex to use. I thought this was something basically we could drive out there and chop them down our own selves, but no, it's a little bit more than that, and a little bit maybe more expensive than I thought. But Link really glommed onto that idea because he said, within 2 years we're going to be repaved anyway, so I got nothing to lose.
Did they actually say within 2 years? Wow. See,
Yeah,
that's
well,
a new one.
I think that's the time frame they're thinking.
Okay.
Well, a short period of time, a few years. But I think that at some point he's going to pick a bump, and we talked about the one down there on Depot that we think is the worst. And take that down with a machine he has, and so
hopefully
be
it works. Yeah.
And if it doesn't work so well, he'll do something temporary, and then they'll repave it. So
He's not going to make it any worse than it is now.
it's not going to make it's going to make it better no matter what he does.
For sure.
But he's going to experiment a little bit, which could be a long-term benefit. I took that idea to Friends of the Rail Trail, and this new gentleman that's there really took up on that in a big way. He has a machine to take the bumps down. Ooh. He has the tamper. Yeah. He has a hot box. He's got
like a power tamper. Oh, fantastic!
And he's got the asphalt and whatever
so he's got
it is.
Everything he needs to do.
So what he's going to do, same thing. Only his idea is to maybe cover it over and seal it, which ultimately might be a better fix. Well, there's no short-term fix, but begin to identify. So I got my input into the big bumps there. I'm picking the one out in Eastham. If you guys know anyone worse than that, let me know, because I'm going to give it to them today.
That's real bad.
And so we're going to see progress on that.
So, okay, now, for the purpose of the minutes. All right, so the Falmouth thing doesn't sound like that's going anywhere, basically, you were saying. Because of the complexity and the expensiveness.
Well, I don't think,
Yeah.
my vision was, well, maybe they could work together and borrow the machine or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen.
Right, but
But Link has a machine.
right, and
something.
Lincoln has something to do. Yeah.
So he is going to pursue a very similar idea here.
Yeah, okay. But then, further to that,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
someone at
appreciate
the
it.
Friends of the Rail Trail.
It is
They
the
are a member?
person who took over for Air.
Oh, okay, whose
There's
name
two
we don't
people that
know.
took over.
Okay.
One is a young lady. She runs the park. And
Okay.
one is a gentleman
Yeah,
that runs, that is, among other duties, he's in charge of the trails. So trimming the trees, the bumps, and they're looking at that. I'll go on and say some things you don't maybe need to write down. They're going to address, there's a lobby day in Boston, and they're hoping to have a conference like this with Senator Sear and I forget her name, Sarah
Oh, yeah, Serpent, yeah, yeah.
to discuss maintenance on that trail. So there's, I think we got people
Does,
ginned up that it's an important
does
issue.
Lincoln and this new guy whose name we
Yes.
don't know, or do they know that each
Yes.
other has some way of dealing with the
Yeah.
bump? You know what I mean? Like,
I'll just say that
Yeah.
I'm aware that they're working together on another issue I don't want to talk about, but
okay, all right. No,
I know that they're in good contact, and as you could guess from Link, they're best of friends, and they'll be sharing what they're going to do. I'm 100% sure, and Link may wait to see what he does. I think he's ready to go, and I'm sending him the. You walk out to the spot and you send a pin.
Yeah,
So I'm doing that today. So anyway, he'll have his information.
So it's not just, it's anywhere on the rail trail, including
Yeah, yeah.
OCRT?
No,
It is
OCRT.
jurisdiction
Yeah,
is
that-
CCRT,
that's
but
because-
OCRT we can cover through the Mass Trails grant.
Right, I was thinking
Yes.
about that big bump that, we put a lot of paint there.
yeah.
That's the OCRT.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
That's the OCRT.
So
yes.
none of this applies to.
That's
that.
what no.
But
Link,
Lincoln
that'd be
could take
Link.
care of that.
Link is going to
Got
make
it.
an effort to take that bump down
Got
at
it.
some point. in
But
time.
any other bad bumps?
Oh yeah.
This is what they're talking about. Okay, got it.
So that, in other words, I think once they start, if they realize one thing I think that they're afraid of. Let's say they shave that down, and we're happier in hell for
3 months.
Year or
3
two.
months, and then it causes bigger cracking next to it, and a bigger hole develops. Or I'm not exactly sure, but so I think that they want to
Yeah.
take a measured approach. And so, yes, but
Yeah.
that's where it's going.
Yeah.
And that's my idea is to have, it's called a maintenance plan. What a thought.
Wow.
And so you take care of X number per year.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it will be a manageable amount, okay? And roughly be able to keep the trail moving. And they're even going so far as to get accident reports and things like that. So it's a big effort, I should tell
Oh,
you.
that's good. Because the maintenance budget was never, for the
They have no
paving
maintenance
part.
budget.
Everything
budget.
else seems to have money, but that paving part was never really.
They have, their budget for maintenance in the park is $10,000.
Oh, oh my God.
So I mean, think about it. So anyway.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
So there's a lot of efforts, and I feel like things are beginning to take off. To be quite frank about it. So one other issue I want to talk about, which involves, I think, a big thank you to you, Alan. The website is now up for Friends of the Cape Cod Rail Trail. You should all go to it.
All right.
FCR RT or whatever it is, or Friends of Rail Trail, and you'll get to that map and click around on the map because I don't know, I don't think it's fully functional now. It's probably 90%. It's going to show, like if you were riding there and you went to that website, it would show you where you are. You'd also have, well, where are the repair stations? It's very, so it's a very powerful map, Alan. I mean, I'm sure you know. I think you're
I handed it off.
we talked about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
we
started
gotta
it.
go,
I
yeah.
started it, and then I handed it off, and let the professionals finish it.
And it's going to have a QR codes, and they're redoing the maps. All the things that we kind of have known and wanted. There are great efforts, and they're downloading the PDF files. They're going to print off those maps. The QR code's going to be there. So I think we're going to see some very, very nice changes. I felt energized.
So is it a .org thing, or do you know the website address?
FCCRT.org, FCCRT.
FCCRT. I think you had to go
.org.
FCCRT.
I ended up. I mean, I
On Google,
there
and
were
just
some
went
that
to
weren't
it, yeah.
registered, but I
Yeah.
registered them.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a lot of back and forth on.
Actually, I
whether
went Friends Cape Cod Rail Trail, went to FCCRT. Is that? But I
Yeah.
think that's the
Friends of the
address.
Cape Cod Rail Trail.
So go there, look at it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's good.
it has a way to join Friends of Rail
and
Trail.
you can pay.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a great way to.
Um,
Yeah. So you started it, Alan, and then you handed it off to the Friends group, and then they put it in.
I put it on a map, I think, and then I showed Alan. Alan said, "Well, let's make this kind of." Mine was just a teeny scratch on the surface.
It was a team effort.
No, you did take it, and
Right, okay.
I had an idea from my kids ordering food. This could be
Honestly,
good.
yeah.
But anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all I need.
Okay.
So
All right, so moving on. That's trail update, upcoming DCR meeting. I believe that relates to,
is that
there was a webinar early January.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's different.
I missed that webinar. That was about the Mass Trail grant round.
Yeah.
The deadline is 2 weeks away. I'm pretty confident that this project that you're working on with Link to address these cracks would qualify for funding
I think
on the Mass Trails grant. So I think what would be prudent is to speak with Link. It sounds like you're pretty schooled on this process.
A little bit.
Certainly more than any of us. And I think we should take a look at the application together and look at, the summary of the project. It doesn't need to be complex, but a description of what we're trying to do, the stages, the estimated cost, and if we can get that submitted within 2 weeks, there's probably a solid.
I'll make one comment on that, is that if they're planning to resurface it in 2 years, I don't know how much.
It's only going to take one kid to fall and bash his face in.
You're singing
sue
the choir.
city,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
But
and then sue the state
okay.
because they passed on a grant.
Yeah.
So-
I guess 2 years could be 4 years.
Believe me, I'm not
with the
saying
state.
2 years.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, I think the juice is going to be worth the squeeze here. I think we should do it.
Okay.
There are lots of other projects, but I don't think we've got the bandwidth or the time over the next 2 weeks. Like I have zero availability. But we want to hit this deadline.
There's the Mass Trails program, as I understand it, is it not, the town has to ante up some money, right? And they
These are typically 50-50 funded.
50/50, so the town would have to,
But
well, this is where Lincoln would have to
there's
be
labor
involved,
involved
right?
here,
Yeah.
so Link isn't. He's
I
not
would tell you
And the
that-
deadline's in 2 weeks?
that what I learned is if let's just say Link did the work, that could be your upfront money.
That's exactly.
Yeah, no, so you may not need
Yeah.
actual money.
Yeah,
Do you think
like there
that-
may be some supplies cost, some equipment rental cost, but the point is that if it's a $8,000 project for the city, perhaps we can get a $4,000 grant from Mass Trails
Yeah.
to help curtail that cost. So
Well, as you say, I mean, we've heard no before.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks is like, oh boy.
Yeah, I'm.
Tight, but, I mean.
it's not a
we-
complex. It's not a complex
Complex
application. We turned
application.
one around in a couple days a few years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
So and it wasn't. It was like a couple of hours of work.
Okay, I can help. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a big project I'm doing too, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
But yeah,
once that deadline goes, we don't have to worry about it anymore. But
Exactly.
right now, the deadline's still in front of us, so we should at least try.
Okay.
So, all right, so that
so
covers that,
it's gonna be Charlie working with
Give it a
Lincoln here
shot.
to put that together?
and I'll join you on that
Okay.
effort. Yeah.
Okay.
Fran, do we have any old business to cover?
No,
Okay.
I don't have anything.
All right.
The only thing is, next meeting, there's a good possibility I'll be in Florida also.
But do we have a date proposal for it?
Oh, where's my phone? Date proposal, Fran?
I didn't hear that.
Date of next meeting. What do we typically the second Tuesday or first
It's
Tuesday?
up to you guys, whatever you.
We've done second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday, right.
We picked Tuesday though, the last Tuesday, and that wasn't any good. We forgot about the holiday. Is there any federal holidays in February?
No, just vacation weeks for kids.
Not during the week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tuesday 13th, I'm out of town. Tuesday the 20th, I'm out of town. So, if we're looking at mid-February, I'm out of town the entire week of the 19th, school vacation. So I could do the 15th or the 16th. 15th or 16th.
15th or 16th.
or I could do the afternoon of Tuesday the 6th, if that's easier for you guys.
That's gonna come up quick.
That's
Yeah.
around the corner.
So I'm going to propose we
15th?
go with Thursday,
15th.
February 15th. I can do 11 a.m. Can you guys do 11 a.m.?
I can.
All right, let's
Okay.
do 11 a.m.
I
Fran,
might-
could you do 11 a.m. on Thursday, February 15th?
Yes,
All right.
No, I think the law, I think I'm okay if I've got some issues. If I'm in Florida, I can just call in like Fran is.
Yeah, you can. All right. Can we send that notice out now or this week?
Yeah.
Or does the meeting request have to include the minutes of the meeting or the agenda for the meeting?
I don't know.
No? Okay.
I think it's too early.
It is? Okay. All right, well, so it sounds like if we're going to go with Thursday, February 15th, our deadline for submitting that to the town is Friday.
48 hours, is it? Yeah.
Well, let's just assume it's going to be Friday, February 9th is our deadline.
Okay.
All right, cool. I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Okay.
Second it.
All righty.
Awesome. Good to see you guys.
So
Good work, guys.